1, 0. Otakuans, welcome back to Maui Rants. No, Maui's Rants. Rant Sundays. No, but today we're going to be hopping into the JJK movie. Again, spoilers for those of y'all who haven't watched the movie yet. It just came out on Friday, but I'm going to be talking about it. I don't care. So if you don't, put us on mute and just give us a view. I don't care. Let us know. Let us know down in the comments after I give my rant on how you felt about this movie. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the notification bells so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Let's talk about JJK the movie slash Shibuya arc slash Culling Game arc 1% of a movie. Now, I know I came in here the other day, and I want to preface this before I get into the thing at all. I came in here the other day, talked about Chainsaw Man. There were some butthurt Chainsaw Man fans that were coming after me in the comments. Come after me in these comments too. We need the engagement. And saying that that movie was a bad movie for a movie. It was good for like it would be good for a show, but it was bad for a movie. Um, Chainsaw Man was a better movie than JJK. Clip it and ship it. It was. It 100% was. And here's the reason why. Getting into the show or getting into the movie, it was quite literally a recap and a trailer. It was a 2 hour recap and a trailer, honestly. It was, don't get me wrong, watching JJK in the theaters was still good. It was still cool, right? Like watching any anime that you enjoy in a movie theater on a big screen is gonna be awesome, regardless. I could go rewatch something I've seen. I could go rewatch Naruto and the Land of the Hidden Snow for the 30th time in the movie theaters, and I would still sit there like, sick. I want to see him run past a train with his demon scars coming out and just be like, ah, and jump out of the way, right? Love it. But the way this was advertised was not correct. Now, we did know that it was going to be a recap and a part of the Culling Game arc. However, it only gave us one bit of new information for like the last 25% of the movie. It only gave us one bit of information that maybe people don't know who haven't read ahead that are just watching the show or just don't talk about JJK with anybody who's read ahead or just lives under a anime weeb rock and just doesn't know what's about to happen. Which in the anime community, even if you don't read the manga, at some point you're gonna figure out what happens next in your favorite show. That just is life. That's just something we have to accept. Starting off in the show, just to kind of wave top it, and this isn't gonna be too long unless you got something to add, David. But like this isn't gonna be terribly long. But starting off in the beginning of the movie, the first 70% of it was literally and well, it was literally a compilation of the greatest hits of the last few episodes of the Shibuya incident arc. So it was a compilation of like it literally sped through Yuji turning into or Yuji fighting Choso and then turning into Sukuna fighting Jogu, whatever his name is, and then him going and seeing that like the what's it called the whole area had been nuked and him throwing up and being like I just want to die, and then him finding what's his name, scars on his head. I can't believe I forgot his name. Crazy, the crazy motherfucker that kills all those people, that kills
Mahito?
what's her name, Mahito, thank you. Kills Mahito or finds Mahito, puts the paws on him. Then Mahito puts the paws on him, and then Toto comes up, and they have the whole fight with Mahito, Toto, and Yuji versus Mahito, and then it goes all the way to him walking Mahito down, and then Gato fucking putting him in a little orb and swallowing him. Pause, and then that's like pretty much all of it. The problem with this little compilation was I felt like it should have been put together better. It's really weird. It's like clips out of place that like go back and forth between each other. Like we'll see something from the end. It showed Nanami die. It showed Kurosaki die or whatever her name is. It showed a bunch of people, all the people who died in the last season. It just showed them all dying, but then it would go back to the fight before they died, and like in a different fight, and then go back to their fight, and then go showed somebody who died in the beginning, and then go back to that fight, and then it showed like Toji. It showed like Toji versus Megumi and Toji versus like the city, and like Toji, making sure that people who call you about your car's extended warranty are still in business, destroying cars and shit. Um, but it was all over the place. That was my problem. I would have rather them just add the last couple episodes or the last episode or two, like just the full episode in the movie instead of just doing this weird back and forth compilation thing. Because again, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it wasn't put together well. It wasn't, it just was all over the place. Now, I know what happens in it, but people who maybe not remember what happened might get some things out of order. They might be like, oh, so this happened because of this happened because of that, this happened because of this. Cool, 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 cool. No doubt, no doubt. But like it was just random and all out of place. And then we get into the part of the movie where it's now moving forward past essentially past the point of where Gato leaves and he says, good luck in the game, right? Good luck everybody trying to survive in this fucking town. And then it's a bunch of information thrown at you. So just like in the JJK manga where there's like pages and pages of like information, they throw a bunch of information at you, and then we get to a point where Yuji Yuji and Choso are now brothers because they are brothers, but they're like a team now. And he gets to a point where he's just like, "Hey, we need to clear out this city full of cursed spirits. Like, we need to clean the city up because the city is full of these fucking demons. We just need to clean it up." And then they're like, "Okay, cool, let's go do that." At the same time, we get a hint of the Zenin family that Megumi was supposed to be a part of, pretty much on the ropes of saying like, "Hey, this is the new head of the Zenin family." Not Megumi, some other dude. I forgot what his name is. Pretty badass dude. He's the new head of the Zenin family. Now, if Megami is found and brought back, if Gojo is no longer around, or if Gojo is, dead or whatever the case may be, Megumi is going to be the new head of the family, so on and so forth. So the dude, the head right now is like, well, cool. I'm just going to go into town and I'm going to kill Yuji and I'm going to kill Megumi so I can stay the head of the Zenin family. So then we get that part where he's going to travel to Shibuya, and then we also get Yuta. We finally get Yuta back. We finally get Yuta back where he is essentially told by the council, the JJK council, or the Jujutsu Sorcerers Council, that your goal is to now kill Yuji Itadori. His execution is now back on. And so then we get a bunch of like commands like thrown up on the screen, like command one or order one, order two, order three, order four. It's Gojo is now complicit in the destruction of Shibuya. He is now sentenced to death, or sentenced to stay in the prison realm because nobody wants Gojo around. Even if he's the best JJK sorcerer, he does whatever the fuck he wants. So if he's in the prison realm, we might as well keep him in the prison realm because haters are gonna hate and they're gonna talk shit when you're gone. And so they said if anybody tries to break the seal, you will be executed and sent to death. Gato is now confirmed to be alive. He is all sentenced to death. Yuji Itadori's suspension of his execution is now lifted. He is now executed. Is supposed to be sentenced to death, and so all these damn execution orders have been sent out. And so as Yuji and Choso are clearing the city of these monsters, which is pretty badass by the way. Like Yuji finally comes into his own, and we get to see like kind of peak Yuji. We get not like before the Sukuna fight Yuji, but like we kind of get to see peak Yuji where he can just punch something barely and it just explodes. Like we get to see like good full power, like I ain't fucking around Yuji. And but when this happens, all of a sudden, Yuta and the head of the Zenin family show up at the same time in front of Yuji, and are just like, and Yuta's like, "Brother, I need to kill this person." The head of the Zenin's like, "Yeah, so do I." And he's like, "How about this? You kill him. You tell me when he's dead, and then I'll send it to the Zenin family to tell them that he's dead, so then we can delay it, and I can look like the guy who killed him." Yuta's like, "I don't give a fuck." So then we get the Yuta versus Yuji fight. Great fight, absolutely fantastic fight. Yuta obviously, again, spoilers from here on out. Yuta kills Yuji. Like they got a great fight though. And then we get Choso versus that head of the Zenin family. Choso, another fantastic fight. Choso on his last limbs trying to beat this dude, but he finally beats him. He finally beats old boy, but he was getting pieced up like like you remember Gojo punching that black dude with the whip? That's how Choso was getting done. Just like a punch it like one of them fast bags, just like Choso was getting pieced up. And then he finally beats him with like this giant blood manipulation, like cast where he just like does these waves of blood against this dude, gets the blood inside of him, he gets all fucked up. Um, and then he kills Yuta, kills Yuji, comes back, pimp slaps Chozo out the way as he's walking up to finish dude up. He's like, "Hey, he's dead." Cool, he's dead. Everybody, I heard people in the theater go, and I'm like, "Shut up." His main character. Let's be honest. Um, and then like the boys I was with, they were just like a couple of them that didn't know had. They're like, "Wait, he died?" And I'm like, "Bro, this is like Kurama and Naruto. Let Kurama figure this shit out. All right, like let's." This is literally Naruto. How many times Naruto die in fucking Naruto and like comes back to life because of Kurama? But it's funny because when Yuji dies, literally Sukuna, there's a clip of him in there where he's just like sitting on a hillside like this in Yuji's mind, and he's just like, he just like does a little laugh. He's just like, huh, funny. Like, like even if we're what the information I'm about to give you doesn't happen, he'd still bring his ass back to life anyways. Um, but he said, hey, he's dead. He heals old boy. He gets sent back. Well, he ends up dying. He doesn't heal him. He ends up killing the head. And then Yuji wakes up at a little fireplace, and is like, wait, I'm alive. And then Yuta proceeds to tell him that Gojo came and visited me. And this is where we get the information about where Yuta's been this whole time. And Yuta's been in Africa doing missions and training and all that kind of shit. And Yuta's an absolute badass, different from how he was in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero for obvious reasons, because he's been training and doing missions this whole time. And then Gojo essentially comes to him and says, "Hey, if anything happens to me, I need you to protect my students, especially Yuji. I need you to protect my students with all costs, no matter what the council tells you, this and that." And Yuji's like, "Well, motherfucker, then why did you kill me then?" And he was like, "Well, one, yeah, you were technically dead, but two, I have reverse curse technique, so I can bring you back to life in the instant I kill you. And two, they made a bind contract with me, so like if I did not finish the contract, it would have dire consequences on me. So I technically had to kill you in order for the contract to be null and void. And so that's why I killed you, but then immediately brought you back to life. And Gojo's told me that I need to be here for you. I need to be here with you and protect you. And then also Megumi has also been looking for you, by the way. And so they're just like, oh, Megumi's been looking for me. And then they start talking about the culling game. Like they start talking about like what the actual culling game is. And I'm not kidding you when I say that in the movie theater, they put up all the rules of the culling game like flash. They flashed them. It was like rule one, rule two, rule three, rule four, rule five. Like in English, we're just like, what the fuck? Like we couldn't read it. It was so they flashed the rules so fast you couldn't read it. Like it didn't make sense. We're just like, okay. And then we figure out the culling game is just a bunch of motherfuckers who are still in the city are gonna have to fight each other, and whoever lives, lives, I guess. And then Megami finally finds Yuji with Yuta, and then they're talking about how they're going to try to stop Gato and how they're going to take the city back, so on and so forth. Big dogs doing big dog shit. And then Chozo shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, since I know how to get there, we need to go to the JJK vault room, talk to the god that lives there, and then try to get the weapons that are down in that vault." And he was like, "Who is this dude?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm Yuji's big brother." And they're just like, "Oh, that's weird." And then they finally link up with Maki, and they link up with the other girl, with the blonde hair girl. I forgot what her name is, but she has the weird like snake curse. It's like a weird snake that flies around in the air, and they link up
Skyfish?
with them too. Huh?
Like a skyfish?
Yeah, it's like the little sky snake thing that just kind of does this around her. They link up with them too. They're just like, hey, even if we do figure out how to get to the vault, how are we gonna, get to this and da 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 da? And then Chozo shows up out of nowhere, like he does like a Batman thing like twice, where he just shows up out of nowhere from the dark, and he's just like, what? We can get into the vault. And it's like, who the fuck is this guy? And then Yuji's like, I guess you can call him my big brother. And then he's like, thank you. And then like yeah, and then he's like, well, my brother's remains are also down there as well, so I want to get them. So this also benefits me. So then they go, and they go down to the vault. They go meet the little god person that looks like he was Doodle Bob drawn by damn 5-year old. And they're just like, welcome. He's like, well, 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 what do we have here? And then the movie ends. Yeah, yeah. Literally, the only new thing you get in this movie is the Yuta backstory, kind of. Not backstory, but the Yuta, where he's been, what he's been doing, kind of. And because even, again, one of the boys was just like, they saw zebras in one of the clips when he was talking to talking to Gojo, and they're like, "What the fuck? Where is he?" And I was like, "Oh, he's been in Africa." And he was like, "Oh, okay, got it." And they're just so we get Yuta, what he's been doing, where he's been at. We get his mission and what he's supposed to do. We get Yuta versus Yuji fight. We get Chozo versus the new head of the Zenin family, which that dude's dead now anyways, because Yuta killed him. Um, and then we get them trying to sneak into the vault. We do get kind of a funny little glimpse of when they go down to that vault. There's like blood stains on like that platform, and he's just like blood stains. He's like, oh, this happened like 20 years ago or 10 years ago or something like that, um, or whatever, blah 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 blah. And again, I had some of the boys were like, "What the fuck? What happened there?" And I was like, "When Toji had the blicky and blew that girl's brains
Oh, it was
out,
her.
like,
It was her
it
brain
was her
matter on the
blood
floor.
literally like her blood and everything was still stained on that platform after he shot her in the head. Yeah. And he was like, yuddy yuddy, I got the glocky glocky. And like, yeah. And so then they go down to that vault and they're going to talk to the god because that god or whatever inhabits that vault is literally doesn't intervene. It sounds like a Zeno, right? It like doesn't intervene in reality. So it like has outer reality powers or something like that. I don't quite know exactly what it is, but I call it like a god in the universe because apparently it has the ability to do anything. And she said it might help us because Gojo is sealed. And obviously they're also trying to figure out how to break the prison realm to get Gojo free. But they're just like he might help us because Gojo has been sealed. The six eyes have been sealed, and if the six eyes aren't on the planet, then that means the planet is in doom. And so that means that this little god or whatever it is might actually intervene this time. And so he's like, "Oh, hello guys," and then the movie freaking ends. Like to me, this movie was literally a recap and a trailer. There was a recap in the trailer of the Culling Game arc. If you didn't know this information before, yeah, you got some cool information where you saw Yuji die and you're just like, whoa, wait, what the hell? And then you just like, oh no, I revived you, you're fine. And you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Like you just actually on our side. Like he's not like a bad guy or whatever. And it's just like, no, like he's not. But cool. And then Chozo is now joining the gang, and we're all getting like the whole gang. We're getting the gang together for who's gonna fight Sukuna in the final, like who's gonna be in the main event essentially. And so that's it, honestly. Like it's we're getting the gang back together. We're getting like the boys are back in town. I don't know, like I got nothing for you because honestly, again, it was cool to watch it in theaters. It was cool to get the new information. The Yuta versus Yuji fight was probably the main peak point in the show. Like it was still good. Yuta was fighting like a new badass. Yuji was fighting like a new badass. But it really didn't give you anything new. Like it didn't. It just was like a teaser. It was like a teaser for what's to come in the next season. Like that's and I know we knew that, right, going into it, but at the same time, it didn't feel put together well. It felt like quite literally a money grab. You can see money grabs and be like, "Oh, this was still a decent movie or still a decent show or a decent filler or whatever it is." But this felt like a no shit. I just sat in the theaters and watched a 2 hour trailer. That didn't give me anything new. Like honestly.
Honestly, I'm not too surprised. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure watching Yuta versus young Itadori, that's cool. When Chozo versus the head of what
Zenin
house?
clan.
Yeah, the Zenin clan.
Zenin?
Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that's all cool and everything, but I've already said this before. I hate these movies that they create that's like the end of last season, the beginning of next
Mhm.
season, because like you said, call it for what it is. It's a money grab. And the fact that
Yeah.
they didn't even bother to like make it into a legit movie, like we texted about this. Like Mugen Train
Yeah.
started off as a movie first, and
Yeah.
then they turned it into a season. Demon Slayer
Yeah.
has done this thing where they'll show parts of the last season, but then they'll give you extra details and more
Mhm.
scenes
Yeah.
moving into the next season. What they did was, hey, Demon Slayer did it, so I'm pretty sure we can get away with it too.
And
And we're JJK, so it's gonna be awesome, right, guys?
I
Lazy,
I just
bro.
thought of this. I just thought of this. It's also going to be shitty. Is I guarantee you when they come out with a show and they drop the first episode, it's going to be
A recap.
half of like what the movie was.
It's gonna be a recap. It's gonna be a recap
And,
from
and then
last
the and
season.
the next
It's
and then
gonna
the
be
next movie or the
same thing
next
you
show,
saw.
the next episode 2 is going to be again what was in the movie.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I have to wait for 3 weeks to finally get some new shit in JJK.
Yeah.
Unless they decide to be smart and like drop, the first 2 episodes first, so people can just get the new information about Yuta and then drop whatever. But they probably won't do that. They're probably just gonna be like, since you didn't see the movie, I'm gonna make you watch it on your TV at home. Like,
Well, I think for the people who like at this point, I don't think I'm going to watch the movie. Like, if it comes
yeah,
across one of my sites, I might check it out. But to be fair, for people who aren't going to watch the movie, they should play that stuff
yeah, yeah,
in the first season.
absolutely.
But like, we know it's going to be like 3-4 episodes that they're going to cover everything they covered from the movie. They're going to have the recap episode 1, which is going to talk about last season and everything leading up to this, and then it's going to end with some new information. Episode 2 is going to start from exactly what you saw in the movie, and we probably won't get new information until at least episode 4. So it's a lazy
Say
money
like
grab, and JJK
end of
just
three would be
doesn't
more.
have it like that. Like, Mappa really gave the JJK people a really big head. They made them believe that people are willing to just bend over backwards for JJK content.
Mm-hmm.
But if it ain't Gojo's pretty eyes, people
Yeah,
really ain't fucking with it that hard. Like, it has some of the
really
best
are not.
fight scenes in the anime right now,
Yeah,
but you're not just gonna drag us along with
yo, I'm gonna
barely any
be honest.
information.
It was the fighting was kind of sloppy.
Stop it.
It was like blurs, like blur fighting, like that blur fighting type shit for some of it, and I was like, ew, brother, ew, like y'all are chained in your basement. You could do better than this.
So you're telling
Like,
me we saw scenes from last season that had better fights than the actual movie? Like
yes,
the when Gojo was beating up the black dude on top of the
yeah,
tower? Like, you're telling me
it was
that was better?
a lot of fighting that was very blurry until they got to Yuta and Yuji. Most of it was like blur fighting. It was just like that blur that Goku versus Vegeta, like lazy. Oh, it's too fast for my normal eyes to see type fighting. Like, brother, stop. Like, yeah. It was not a good movie. This should not have been. Now, I said it about Chainsaw Man, but I'm doubling down on JJK. This should not have been a movie. It should have just they should have just waited till the damn season came out,
Hmm.
waited till the show came out, and just made this a show because same information. I felt like I wasted again. 75% of the movie was a recap. 75% of it. And then the last 25%, the last like 30 minutes of the movie, barely 30 minutes, was the new shit with Yuta and Chozo and them going to visit the god and what the calling game was. And they didn't, and that's what pissed me off even more. Is like I understand that this is a money grab, but when they put the rules of the damn culling game for people to understand what the culling game was up on the screen, it flashed, flash, flash, rule, and disappeared. And literally, I heard so many people in the theater go, "What the fuck?" Like, and then I had people lean to me, go, "Hey, so what is the culling game again?" And I had to explain from what I already understood the culling game was. I said, essentially, just think of it like damn Hunger Games. Like it's literally just a battle royale
Hmm.
in the city, and whoever survives survives, and they get to be the strong. They get to live in the world that is gonna be the new world that comes in, like because they're the strongest of all the people or whatever. And they're just like, oh. And I was like, that's the basics of what the culling game is, because you know what culling is. Culling means to cut out cut the wheat, cut the chaff, right? To cut the weak out and to keep the strong, and that's literally all it is.
Hmm.
And so they're just like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, if you want to, I'd just go and look up, like, go online and look up net, like on the internet, what are the rules of the culling game? Because when I mean they flashed it on the screen, you can read the first word before the next rule is up. I was just like, that's so lazy. Like either the theater did that or the movie did that, but I don't think the theater would go against like the movie would be the people who created it would be pissed and would be suing movie theaters for doing that.
Hmm.
And when this was happening, there was talking in the background on the movie, so I know it wasn't sped up. Like, so that means they put this product into theaters with the culling game rules being flashed at people. Now, I don't know if they did that for people to go look it up or for to really wait and see what the culling game actually is, but then just don't put the fucking rules up. Like, don't put the rules of the culling game up. Like, but it flashed on the screen, and I was actually pissed off. I was like, wow, you're really insulting people's fucking intelligence tonight.
Hmm.
Like, that's really what you're doing. That's all you're doing. And so this would have been this. I mean, again, it was only like $10 for me to go to this thing, but it was. I was like cool. I got to hang out with some of the boys from down here, but like cool. Like all right, bet cool. Like, can you at least put like prison realm cups out on display or something for people to buy? Like no, like
Did they have
something.
any merchandise?
No, no. And
Not even
it
merchandise.
was opening night, brother.
Damn.
Opening night, they had zero JJK merchandise. Zero. It was all Zootopia shit, which whatever.
Maybe they should have just did the whole arc as a movie. Like if they really wanted to make money, like they
Mm-hmm.
should have just made the arc like once again, like Demon
Demon Slayer.
Slayer did a
Yeah.
Mugen Train as a movie, and then if you want to make that movie into a series, don't be
And get
lazy.
more
One,
information. Yeah.
add more stuff to
Yeah.
it, but turn it into a whole season. Like there was a great way of doing it. I really don't fuck with this. Hey, we're just gonna put the last few episodes of last season and maybe an episode or two of the next season
It
and call it a
wasn't even the
movie.
last. It wasn't even the last few episodes either, which is so I'm so perturbed about because it was just a bunch of poorly put together. Like I could have edited a better fight complicate compilation of the last season's fights than they did. Like I'm not even kidding. I could use CapCut or damn Fonto and put all the JJK fights from last season, the good ones, and made it like and made a better looking compilation than what they did that they put on the screen.
They should have
And
just
it
went
was
to
it was
TikTok.
all over the place. It was all over the place. All over the place. Yeah, they should have made it a TikTok video and people they'd have got more views than that. So it ain't going like again, we talked about this. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi like, hey, new Star Wars movie out in theaters. Obi-Wan Kenobi shaking butt for 2 hours. People still gonna watch it because it says Star Wars on it. So it's gonna make some money. Of course it is. But the tickets were hella cheap and for obvious reasons. And it was bad. Like I'm glad I got to watch the new like a couple new like an episode or two in the theater, right? Episode and a half of the new season in the theater, but for what? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Y'all. I mean, again, you should probably wait. I wouldn't waste my money or my time to go see that. To like, that just was boring. I would honestly would have preferred watching Chainsaw Man in theaters than that other one. Like, so at the end of the day, it was just all around bad. And I'm a big JJK fan. Like again, I like JJK more than I texted you this the minute I left the theater. I said I like JJK more than Chainsaw Man, and Chainsaw Man movie was way better than this. Like way better than this, 100%. So for those of y'all who did watch the JJK movie or whatever, I mean, you got to let us know down in the comments how you felt about it. Again, I'm probably pissing off multiple communities at this point, but like, like you got to be honest with yourself. I believe we talked about this like years ago. If you're a true fan of something, like a true fan, you can't just blindly love everything that your genre puts out. You have to tell them when something is bad. Like I am one of the biggest Star Wars fans you'll ever meet. Rey is not a Skywalker, and those movies were garbage. Like I don't care. The Acolyte, garbage. Like let's be honest. The Mandalorian, great. Boba Fett, great. Rogue One, great. But let's be honest. So if you're a big fan of something, take a look in the mirror and realize that your favorite thing sometimes puts out bad product. Just let's be honest with ourselves here, right? And I get it. It's opinion based. So somebody who doesn't know anything about JJK could have probably watched this movie and been like, "This was the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my life." But categorically, you're wrong. But at the end of the day, like people will see this and be like, "Oh, this is great. This is fantastic." But for those of us who know what's going on, that we know the industry, we know the ins and outs, we know that this was a big slap in the face and a big money grab. That's all it was. It was just a way to make some money before, because they're trying to. I guess probably a bunch of Mappa people died in their cuffs and chains down in the dungeon. They got to rehire some new people, talk them in, give them a little bonus, a little stake down the stairs, put them on a new shackle, get to work. So let us know again down in the comments. Let us know how you felt if you have watched the movie. Again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future episodes. We're wrapping up the new season of anime, so soon in the next week or so we should be doing our seasonal review. So week, 2 weeks, whatever, I believe. So be sure to be looking out for that one. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.